Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I think we're at part 4 and I'm going to do the tags today. So I have, as you may know, I am making 2 of these. So I have done the tags for this one, and so I'm going to make them again for the other one. I've kind of stuck to a bit of a theme in the decorating, just makes it a little bit quicker and a little bit easier, and I think it kind of gives you some continuity throughout the journal, so I quite like it. So first thing I did was to cut my bits of cardstock. So I just printed the sort of the page sheets that we've got. I just printed, I think, 3 of those on a bit of 200 GSM card, and I just printed the plain background on it, and then decorated it up. I thought that was quickest. Thinking about it, probably to save ink, I would coffee dye in future, but I've done it now, so there we go. Don't quite know where to put that. There, we'll go with there. So I measured what I needed, and I initially thought I needed 8 of these, but I've decided to do some altered guess checks. I'll probably do those in another video. So I did these 7 1/4 by 3 1/2, and that was a nice size for these big pockets that I've got. Slip in there nicely, and they also that pocket there, that it's the full width because it's a folded over pocket, so it goes nicely in there as well. So yeah, so I've got 5 of those, and I say in some of these bigger pockets I've put some altered guess checks. So yeah, I've got 5 of those for this size, which was 7 by 3, and they, oh, that was a guess check. They go in the pockets that are glued down these sides, so they need to be narrower. So the one that's 3 1/2 inches wide would be too wide to fit in these. I've actually decorated that one. They're too big for it, so yeah, that's why I did that one down. And then let's put that one back in. And then for these little pockets, the 2 little pockets I've got here, these are 6 by 2 1/2, so they fit nicely inside this pocket here. I mean, I could have made it a little bit taller, to be fair. Yeah, maybe. Should I make the next one taller? No. I just had to think about the proportion for the size as well. So, no, I'm not. I'm going to leave it at that. But obviously, you do you, as Timmy says. And, you know, if you want it taller, do it taller. So, having got those sizes, I then worked out how many I needed. I've got a few obviously done. So I've only need 3 sheets now to finish off what I got. I probably did 4 before. So yeah, because that one's done. So I do need all 5 though this time, don't I? Because that one's going in there, yeah. But I've got 2 like that, so I only need 2 more of those, and I only need 1 more of those when I'm cutting them. So I randomly chose what sheets I was going to do, and sort of wanted to be a little bit frugal as possible. So I want, these are 3 inches wide, so I'm just going to come in here, cut it 6, cut at 7. I've got a little strip for someone else that can go in my little scrap box. I've got a box that I'm using, a container, whilst making this journal, and then I can use those little scraps up at the end. I'm going to make some clusters. Yeah. So that is that one. I'm going to do another 3. Oh, no, what I'm going to do on this one is make this size one. So I'm going to go to 3.5. Keep that for someone else. And then cut that at 7. So that gives me one of me 5 there. And that's 1, 2, 3, those 4 done. So here I need another one of those. I'm going to cut a green one of that. So I'm going to cut down 2.5 inches. Might do it that side because I'm just thinking about the pattern. Actually, I want it all green. So I'm going to cut a 3.5 inch to have one of my big tags. So I'm going to do a 3.5. Oh, I did it at 7. It's 7.25. Not that it matters for the other one, but I'll cut this one at 7.25. Then I'm going to do this one at 2.5. And then it needs to be 6. I like to use that because it butts there at exactly 6. So that's those 2 complete. So now I've got 1, 2, got another one, 7.25, 3.5, get rid of these. So then I just need 2 more out of this one. So 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. So I'm going to cut that at 7. Got a big piece there. I could make another tag if I needed to. If I was feeling precious about that one that's not quite the right size, I could redo it. There we go, 7.25, and then 3.5. And that's them all done. So that one can go back in that journal up there. So I don't need this anymore because I'm going to decorate it. So you can just cut your tag tops any way that you want them, but I have this wonderful punch from Stampin' Up. It's called the Very Best Trio Punch, and I do believe it is the very best. So I love it. So I'm just going to cut my tops like so. Nice top there. I can do it that way so you get a slightly different top to it. So kind of a little bit different. Can you see? Is it more noticeable that way? It is more noticeable that way. So just a subtle difference. So yeah, and then you get these bits that are cut off that you could use as decorative photo corners. These, so they could be kept. Got a little jar, just keep them, might use them. Just going to stuff them to the side for the moment. Yeah. So I just think, I just love it. I just saw this when the catalogue came out. It was like top of my list. Time saver, and stops the fiddly. I like that it's a good solid punch where I can use my whole hand, press it down like that, and then you've got a little notch here to do your little ribbon hole. Not that I've put any ribbon through any of them yet. Now what I've decided for these bigger ones is I'm going to use my new punch, which makes that lovely shape there. I treated myself. I went on a bit of a spending splurge. Ed went away for the weekend and I just went shopping online, and this had been sat in my Amazon sort of buy later list for a long time, and so I decided that I was having it. And I also think because it looks quite decorative and it's something to pull, I didn't think it necessarily needed any ribbon or anything in the top. I was quite happy with the way it looked. I think I could possibly do both at the same time. It's feels like a strong, sturdy punch. Yeah, did two at the same time, look. So that's them. And I did decide to round the corners as well. So I've got two corner punches. One's a small and one's a large. Going for the large because it's a large tag. I say, now that I got a design in mind, it then decorating became quite quick. I mean, it didn't take me long. Once I'd figured on a design, I was then able to get all the different elements together, and it was a little bit like a conveyor belt. Not that my desk was this clear whilst I was doing it. It was all a bit of a mess, really. And I've kind of just smooched it all to the side. But that's just how I roll. There we go. Is that them all? That looks like them all. So that's all my tags ready. That's the design I'm going for. So what I decided for each tag was that they needed some sort of topper. So I went online and searched for public domain winter foliage is what I went for. And some of the designs that I found are the same ones that the person who made this kit found in the public domain, and you know, it's made some of the elements of this out of. So that was lucky. So they all match nicely. There are only a certain amount of, you know, images that you can find, and you do sometimes find. I look at kits and go, oh, I've got that image. I found that as well. So I saved them all, and so then I did this size 9 to a page, And then I did this size where I did 4, 8, 12, 6, 22 a page, so that I had 2 different sizes, because some I wanted a little one and some I wanted a big one. I've got some spare ones here that I did before. So obviously they need to be a little bit grungier than what they currently are, and you can see there I have started a few there. So what I did was I got my soft suede that I love to use, and I got my blending brush, which is there, and I just went over, because they've got a really light background, so I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so I just went over like that. And I'm going to want some bigger ones, so I did the same thing on the bigger ones, just went over like that. I'm not going to do them all. And then I grabbed a green that I thought would work really well, so I've grabbed Soft Succulent, and I thought it'd be quite good just to add a little bit of green in, because there's green in the paper. So I just went over and got a little bit of a green hint going on there as well. Do usually start off the page when I'm blending, but these are actually going to get cut, so you won't see some of that. Although I will just bring in on the edge there. There we go. And then I decided to add a little bit of stamping as well, because I felt they needed a bit of vintaging up in that way. So I took my favourite stamp set for vintaging, my Ranunculus Romance. The ink, the blending brushes, the stamps are all available in my Stampin' Up shop. So I just took, where's my other stamp that's mounted? There we go. I just used that, and I used the postage stamp. I could use that one actually. I think I might get that one out as well. I do actually like the border as well, but, and just, I do actually just like doing it, taking the gone well random there, I can't even see what I'm doing, just to add a little bit. Doesn't matter that they're not straight, and you can line it up so it is a bit straighter. There, so that's got very random around, and then just put postmark on there. And I might put this little label in places. some of this will get covered up with how I'm going to decorate the tag, but there. So I did that. So doing it like a whole sheet, I actually need more of these big ones than more of them, but there you go. Then I just ruler it so that they had like a fluffy edge that would take ink better. So I just went up to the edge there. I'll say some of that inking is going to come off now. There we go. I can vaguely see the edge of where the kind of colour that's on it would be. So, and those bits I'm ripping off, I could keep these for scraps. They're quite nice because they've got bits of stamping on. I won't do those ones. I've got it. I've got enough. So yeah, they're quite nice little strips for some Cory clusters. And then we'll just take them off. Oh, I might leave that the way it is. So, won't do more. I can do some of these off camera. Let me just do these big ones. I do need 5 big ones for my five big tags. There we go. Just leave that for now. And then might chuck that one. It's mostly white, that. And then I just went round the edges. Can't see my edge pinker at all. Probably in this pot. Yep. And because they're ripped, you've got like these fluffy edges. And so it takes the ink really well. I just re-inked this actually yesterday, so it's nice and juicy, lots of ink on there. Looks quite dark. That's because I pulled out early espresso. I was sitting there thinking, that's really dark. Have I re-inked it with the wrong colour? And I pulled out the colour and it said early espresso, and then I realised I had the early espresso ink pad. Never mind. Oh. I mean, it is still quite dark because it's recently been re-inked. God, that's really squiff. I might straighten that one up. That's not very straight either. Gordon Bennett. What I try and do, obviously didn't succeed, is make sure I've got like a 90-degree angle there. hold the ruler down really tight. That's a bit better. There we go. Got to bin those. So I deliberately didn't want to go down the Christmas road with this. I wanted to leave it as winter as opposed to Christmas themed. I am going to make a Christmas journal, but that's what I've done for now. And I can decide if these need to be darker or not later. So we had one of these. I'm going to use that. That's one of my big ones. So we had that size, and you can see with that inking with the green and the brown, it does, I think it goes really well. I think it does go really, really well. So then I wanted some music sheet. So I've got my really old church school hymnal. I paid £1 for it, and it is, I have used quite a bit of it. So I like the sheets that have got like a full bit of music on it, because I need quite a long bit. So I kind of went through to find music that's down the whole sheet. Not quite. That one will do. There we go. I'll just take that for now. And so what I did was I just ripped the edge, proper ripped, not ruler ripped. There we go. Keep that in my scraps. I'll do that one in a minute. And then I kind of thought I'd get 3 out of this. So I just sort of randomly rip. So I've got 3. What I actually did was, before I randomly ripped all that, was I inked it. But yeah, so just, although it is a vintage, it's over 100 years old, this hymnal, and so it is genuinely aged and vintage, but I just wanted it. I just wanted a bit more. So then I'll come in with the green a bit as well. That green needs a little bit more green on it. So this is where, you know, it's a bit of a time saver if you do it like this. And it's easier to ink the whole page than these individual ones, which I'm going to now have to do. So that's that. That'll do for now. So that's what I did before I went and ripped it all up. So I'll just rip again. I realised I hadn't put any pages in this journal that was music sheet, which is very rare for me. So I thought, well, I'll use music sheets to decorate. So that'll be right. And then I wanted to go round the edge as well of each of them. I'll only do this one just to show you what I did. So I got them all ready in a pile. So I had all those ready in a pile, all those ready in a pile. And then I wanted a ticket. So I've got these pile of tickets that I previously cut out with my Scan and Cut. So grab a few of those and I inked around them. So they were ready. I just pulled out as many as I needed, gave them an ink out, ink round. So they were ready. And then I haven't done it on that one, but on lots of the others I've used a genuine postage stamp. So I do sort my postage stamps out, well, not all of them, but some of them. I got given this, I got sent Happy Mail, a load of stamps by a lovely follower. And yeah, I just got some ready, ones that would be about the right colour. That colour's good, that colour's good. I quite like these dark green ones. Pull them out, get the colours I want. Oh, that's a nice one, that'll work. I like these ones here as well. They work really well. Some of the colours in the foliage is, you know, a lot darker than others. So just pull a few out so that they're ready, and I can decide which one I want. I think that's completely the wrong shade, Jez. Got these ones, these Thomas Jefferson ones, and I thought, oh, I wonder how old they are. And they're from the 60s. And then I got really scared because some of them seem to be quite valuable, but I'm sure they aren't. So yeah, I often worry that I've got like a fortune. My father-in-law gave me Ed's stamp collection that he did when he was a child. He clearly got bored, and he was like, "Don't worry, there's no like penny blacks in there. There's, you know, nothing majorly valuable in there." And of course, although they are, you know, sort of old stamps, I did still ink round them, so they're a bit ready. And then I used some cheesecloth. So got some cheesecloth, and I like fold it over and fold it over, so then I can just cut it like that. So I've got these strips, and then I just cut them in half, and then I just pull them a little bit, so they're a little bit messier. So they're ready. So I had a sort of a pile of that, and then I got some lace to use across it. Picking out, finding the lace that I want. This isn't the lace I want, but I'm going to get it out just for demonstration purposes. So I got them ready, and then I had a die cut, and I decided to use a die, and I did do some stamping. So I remembered that I had this set. This is a retired Stampin' Up set. I wanted some winter foliage. So this is the dies that match, so that's that one. I did cut out this sort of leafy one, but I didn't like the way it looked in the end. And I also did some stamping and die cutting some of the foliage bits as well, so I got them ready. So I need to do a bit more die cutting, so I'm going to do some more die cutting and get everything all inked, and then we'll start the sort of mass making of putting them together. There we are. So I've been busy prepping everything. So I've inked round all of the tags. I've got all of these ready. These are all inked around, and I die cut some of these elements. I changed the colour of the ink. Went much better than this one. I've die cut these little things as well, and I die cut them out of the leftover paper, not the card but the paper that were for the pages, so I thought they would match nicely. I've got my tickets all prepared, stamps. I've also got these are the little elements that are in the kit, and I printed them 2 to a page, so they were smaller, so I might use one of them instead of a stamp, possibly. I've got this washi tape. Since I started, I went to the range and I got some very cheap washi tape. And I've got my bits of cheesecloth ready, and I've pulled out some lace. They're not prepped yet because I don't know how big a piece I will want. So as with these, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on these in the background. You can see I literally just did 2. A bit at the bottom and a bit there in the top right hand side, which is basically because I did sort of everything sort of on the left. So I'm going to do that. So I am just using this stamp. That's all I'm going to use. So I'm just gonna a little bit at the bottom and a little bit on the side. So just do that on them all quite quick. I may decide to come in and do some extra stamping once they're put together. I might decide it needs a little bit more. But for now, that's what I'm doing. I do have other script stamps that I could use, but I'm just going for this. And I might do a bit on the back. So, and I'd probably do that with some other stamps, but I'll probably decorate the back, but not right now. So that's it. So we're ready to stick down. So basically I'll take that. These are actually the wrong way around in terms of how I want to do it. Take one of these. We'll have a big one of these. I had one that I quite liked. I sort of thought that was brownie. Oh, these ones haven't got any stamping on, so we'll have to do that in a bit. So we want a bit of this behind as well. I've got a longer one, thicker one. Take that one. Not really longer, is it? So I want it. Big ticket. One of these. And then it was a stamp. I have that one. And I did some of these bigger ones. So I'll put a bit of this down the side as well. And something that I sort of forgot about, I kind of didn't like that gap up there. So taking a little bit more muslin, cheesecloth, and just take a little bit to put underneath, so that gap's filled, and then we'll have a little bit of lace along the bottom. Go halfway through that sort of scallop, like so, and I want to make it look a little bit dirtier. Of that along the bottom, like so. That is where I was going with it. And I'll say they're all very much done in a similar vein. This one was a smaller one, so instead of having that little bit of die cut, I moved the ticket down there. I didn't bother with the stamp, just so they aren't all sort of identical, but they are all on a similar vein. I could add one of these things instead of a stamp if I wanted to. Could put something like that in it, but just looking at the colours that's on there, I'm going to stick with that. There is an option. I've got them really for making clusters, so I'm going to stick down these things. Oh, my little glue bottle's downstairs. I was using it last night and Ed's moved it somewhere, so I'm going to be using my big one. So I thought I'd just put this one together with you, and I might speed up and do a bit of time lapse on the others, so you get a feel of me putting it together without being really bored by it, because they are all, let me be done in the same way. When I stick cheesecloth down, I use a bit of glue stick. So we're going to have a bit across there, and then we're going to have a bit down here. So on down to there. Okay, and what I was sort of tempted to do was I want that cheesecloth over a bit. Beauty of a glue stick. Yep. That's better. What's the ticket now? Where's the ticket gone? Oh, it's there. So what I tended to do was stick the ticket to that topper. Yep. So I could see where it was going. I kind of, because there's lines on the ticket, kind of followed them. So I could stick that underneath fairly straight. That bit's going to go on there. This is where it's a little bit harder with this one because it's not quite so fine. Stick that there. And we can put this down. I'll say once you've thought about how you're going to do it, if you're going to do all the rest of them very much similar, don't have to really think about it anymore. It just comes together. Quite quickly. I mean, you could put less on your tags. You might have tags that have already got things printed on. I was just using ones. I mean, there are tags in the kit. I just wanted bigger ones. I always tend to add, even if I've got a tag that's got patterns on it and you know, it's already sort of layered. I like to add my own. Just going to do a little line across there to stick this on. And stick a little stamp on, and I think that'll be it done. So a nice sort of wintry looking vintage tag. So I am going to turn on time lapse and finish the others. Finish the others off. And there we have them all finished. So I varied them ever so slightly, but they are pretty much the same design, altering sometimes where I put the ticket, whether I had a stamp or not. Yeah, so they're now all ready to go in the journal. So I'm going to do some altered guest checks, which is what I'll do next time, I think. So yeah, hope you're enjoying the making of this winter traveller's notebook. All the videos will be in a playlist, and I'll see you again next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.